And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another live stream here. Hope you're all doing well. I have a new type of stream I'm trying out here today. We'll explain it a bit further when a few more people show up. But I have sort of realized that there are a lot of cars in my collection that I really don't pay attention to. So many cars that I just review, and then I put them on a shelf, put them on my table, I put them where they go, and then I just never really touch them again. You know, I have I have a lot of cars. I hit 1,000 in the summer of 2022. Welcome everyone, Cars Like Ninjago and World of Cars Entertainment. Welcome everybody, and Mugman the Mug. Welcome guys. Thank you for joining. I have a lot of cars. Uh, Keep them all on a numbered list. I'm going to cross-reference that real quick, and we're going to see. I have currently 1,162 155 scale diecasts. That includes everything, plastic cars, customs, hydro wheels, planes, you name it. That is my entire 155 scale collection. And that is a lot. And, I only use so many cars in my videos. I have so many Cars Adventures episodes, but in Cars Adventures, I typically use the same few characters. We have the same main characters, and then I tend to really use a lot of the same background characters because they're ones that easily fit into, like, Radiator Spring scenarios. So, for a while, I've been wanting to do a stream where I just kind of, sit back, relax, and just kind of like it says in the title, appreciate my collection. Take a look at some cars that I don't really focus on as much. And to make it a bit more engaging, I thought it'd be fun to have you guys suggest which cars I take a look at here on the stream. Because every single stream I do, I always get people asking, hey, can you show this car, or this car, or this car? And usually, I don't do it because, usually I'm stationed here. I got, I have a setup on my streams, but as you can see today, we have no setup. So we're going to be taking a look at some cars. Show what's left of Thailand Mel, I beg. Well, Cars Like Santiago, Thailand Mel was turned into a custom. I bought him for a custom for my Bat Car series, and he was turned into a custom rather quickly. The original plan was to cut his glasses off and put them on a spare Mario Andretti I had, but instead I decided it would be easier to just use him as is. You see, in my Bat Car series, he played the Riddler, and we did the version of the Riddler from The Batman, the 2022 movie, where he's in like a mask. He's in like a weird rubber military mask with his glasses over it. And his face is kind of taped up. So what I decided to do instead was I covered him in green tape. That's it. He got covered in green tape. So underneath this, there's a little hair, but a dust stuck to said tape. Underneath this is just regular Thailand Mel. He still does exist. So if I take the tape off, I do still have regular Thailand Mel, but then I no longer have the Riddler custom. So, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna... I mean, I don't know. I don't have a place where I'm gonna need Meldorado's Thailand variant. It's pretty rough looking. I don't really think there's a context where I would need that, and I don't want to undo all this tape because then I'd have to redo it. So he's gonna stay like that for now. That's that's his fate. Alright, we have frequent requests from someone to show off Frank. Let me get our old pal Frank out real quick. Frank... It was so exciting when they first released Frank. Obviously, I was very young and I didn't know. My dad had just seen that Frank was out now and wanted to get me Frank, and eventually we picked him up at this one toy store that I distinctly remember always looking for cars at, but they never had them. That store was like everything they sold there was a local toy store was so stupidly overpriced. I once bought a $10 Lego set there for $17. They were that needlessly overpriced. They went out of business now, probably because the prices were just that bad. The only car I ever bought there was the only car I ever saw there, and that was Frank. Now, this is the original Frank. More recently, in 2019, 2020, I think it was 2020, there was a new variant of him, pretty much. The Thailand Frank is a lot more movie accurate. He has smaller eyes, and I think he looks a bit cleaner. I love the smaller eyes on the Thailand variant, but I never picked it up because, like, what am I going to do with two Franks, right? In hindsight, maybe I should have, but again, I do not need two Franks. Frank is one of my favorite characters to use in Cars Adventures. I think a Frank appearance is always a very special appearance. You don't see him in many episodes, but when he does, it's just fun to make him mess around, with whatever. He really doesn't roll that smoothly. I guess he does. He's very loud. All the tractors. No, I'm just going to be showing one at a time, so. Smaller eyes is nice, but Thailand Frank was very clean with no dirt. Yeah. Yeah, people were calling him Clean Frank. Which, I mean, I guess is fine as an alternative, but that was a strange choice. I like the smaller eyes. I guess it's nice to have a Clean Frank as an alternative. I don't know what context you could use him in, but, I mean, I would prefer a dirty Frank with smaller eyes, but whatever. He's got a lot of moving parts, though. He's got this part, I don't know what to call this, Crop Sucker 3000. That would be insane. What if they named Frank that? That would have been a far superior name to Frank. There's actually an extremely obscure Dirty Frank from Thailand. I know Frank was released a good few times post Cars 3, so I wouldn't doubt it. Because I know he was out in 2018. I don't know if Thailand handled any of his cases. But I know that I'm almost certain that Clean Frank was not the first time Thailand made a Frank. The other one is just not as common. Don't quote me on that, but Cars Likes Ninjago said that, so quote him. It's not my fault. No, but for real, yeah. Let's see. Ty, can you show nuclear fallout snot rod? So earlier today, Cars Likes Ninjago sent me an eBay listing of a loose lot of cars, and they were all super damaged, and the snot rod was missing his engine. And he said, Ty, you should buy this, they're selling Rev and Go Racer. What he didn't realize at the time was that Rev and Go Racer is stupid chipped. So if you're willing to buy an eBay lot with a really damaged Rev and Go Racer, just to get a Rev and Go Racer, you could pick that up. It's $25, $4 shipping. Comes with a bunch of really destroyed cars. And, yeah, the snot rod in that lot has no engine. So I messaged him back, oh, cool, I even get a free snot rod who looks like... What did I say? I said, like, oh, cool, I even get a nuclear fallout snot rod. Or, like, I get a snot rod that looks like he's a victim of nuclear fallout. I actually do not have Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen. I have most of his variants, but I do not have the regular one. For whatever reason. I've got the metallic variant, the no tires variant, and the Easter Bunny variant. Goodbye, Cars Likes Ninjago. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, I unfortunately still don't have regular HHPC McQueen. Let's see if anyone else has any other requests. Yeah, HHPC McQueen, Eduardo here has sent me links in the past because he loves HHPC McQueen, one of his favorite diecasts. Trust me, I know. He talks about him all the time over on my Discord server. And he sent me several links because it's one of the most significant diecasts I'm missing. And every time I'm like, look, I can't get this. You said this was the cheapest one you could find, and it's like $35. He used to be on the cheaper end, but as time has gone on and releases of him I mean, it's been 10 years since we've gotten a regular release of him, so unfortunately, we we're still waiting for him to come back. My name is not Chuck. I have he's in the other room I store cars in, so I'm gonna have to make a bit of a pilgrimage. But I have the normal one and the tool gun one. So let me know which you would rather see. The original My Name Is Not Chuck. I distinctly remember seeing him at Disney World. I'll be right back. Let me go get him. And when I was in Disney World, my mom distinctly pulled I was like, oh my gosh, it's My Name Is Not Chuck, and my mom pulled We Have Those at Home on me, which is the only time I ever remember her doing that. Although I'm sure she's done it in the past. So I really wanted to get him because I'd never seen him before. I never saw him again, and he ended up becoming incredibly expensive, and I ended up having to buy him loose on eBay for $15, which is quite a bit for a loose car. He came with his accessories and such, and yeah, my mom and I joke all the time about how she said that. For a car that ended up being super rare, because how was she supposed to know we'd never see him again, and then he'd end up becoming pretty hard to find. I later on got the tool gun variant in that 2021 11 pack. What would you say if the expanded universe GRC line would be the main plot for Cars 4? I'd say they haven't confirmed a Cars 4, and they just don't do that. They don't take expanded universe lines and say, that's a movie now. It's just a made-up thing for the diecast line. So sick of the fake Cars 4 rumors, guys. I'm like going insane over here. It's not been confirmed. Okay, Plastic Mater the Greater. Let me go get him. Let me go put Not Chuck back. I'll be right back with our old pal Mater the Greater. Yeah, so let me go grab him. I was never able to pick up the Metal Mater the Greater. The Cars Toon line handled releases of McQueen and Mater so stupidly and so poorly. They made it insanely difficult to get Maters. Maybe that was kind of genius, locking them away behind 4-packs so you would have to buy 4-packs. But then they just never released most of them as singles. Mater the Greater has been out in several multi-packs, but I want to say to this day his only single release came in 2017 where they named him Stunt Mater, which is probably the worst diecast renaming I've ever seen, other than Rusty's Dinoco Cruise. That might be the worst rename I've ever seen, but renaming Mater the Greater to Stunt Mater is so stupid. His name was Mater the Greater in the short. That was his stage name. that was so dumb. But his only release, its only release was as a single was then, and that was in the 2017 line that barely came out. I think for Cars Tunes in 2017, they released only Stunt Mater and Dragon McQueen with Oil Stains. I remember hearing rumors back then that Mator was gonna come back in the 2017 line, and it never happened. I don't know how legit that is. Don't quote me on that. Okay, I got a request from Mr. Drippy. Not gonna lie, I have no clue where he is for some reason. Oh, here he is. He's on my table instead of with my Demolition Derby cars, just laying down. I used him in a Headlight Zone episode back in October, and I think I never cleaned up from it. Oops. He was, but I got canceled because Cars 3 came out. Yeah, but I thought most of the 2017 Tunes cars released in, like, September. I remember them releasing later on in the year, but maybe I'm wrong. Was there anyone else we knew for the 2017 Tunes line? I can't believe of everything, Mator was gonna come back. Man. Cars 4 has been confirmed. I saw it was said in my dreams. It's happening in 3 months. No way! That's my favorite thing about people lying about sequels. That's not how sequels work. Yeah, because some YouTuber made some video claiming Cars 4 has been confirmed. And it's funny. Every word of what he just said was wrong. There was not a fact in there. And Astro Smokey, I think it was Astro Smokey, wrote the greatest YouTube comment I've ever read, completely tearing down how wrong this guy's video was. This is the same idiot that claimed that in Cars on the Road, they were racing on an icy lake in the Salt Flat episode. Did you even watch the show, my guy? Anyway, Mr. Drippy. Other thing, the guy who claimed it was Cars 4 had to change his video title. Did he? Did he change it? Like, no offense to him, you know. Sorry for calling you an idiot. But, like, do your research next time. That's, you know. Do your research. Do deeper research before you make a video to your 600,000 subscribers telling them that a movie that has not been confirmed is happening. You gotta look deeper, man. Anyway, Mr. Drippy. Should I count Cruz as part of the Radiator Springs group? I know some collectors who do, but Cruz doesn't live in Radiator Springs. Cars on the Road basically confirms that Lightning and Cruz haven't seen each other during the off-season. I put her with my racers. That's where I put her. I put her as the first next gen in my collection, but Cruz is hard to place. You could stick her in with the main characters. I don't, because she doesn't live in Radiator Springs. You could stick her in with the next gens. That's what I do. Or you could even stick her in with Team Rusty's, quite frankly. You know, it's a little awkward for my racer shelf. Half of my Cruzes are non-racer versions of Cruz. You know, so it is a little awkward. So many cars canceled in 2017. It's so sad. I know. The one I wish we got the most is the Dustin Mellows repaint that we were supposed to get in in the Radiator Springs Classics line. I love when they make new cars that are part of series we don't. Yeah, unfortunately, Toy Story 5 is a real thing. That is legit. Unfortunately, for all of us. Yeah, I love when they do new releases based on scenes that rarely get new releases, like the R-Town scene. We got so many of those guys in 2009 and 2010, and then we get random new ones once, like, every 6 years. 2013, got one in 2017, 2016 with Jonas, and then we got another one in, what, 2020 with Nikki B. There's so much untapped potential there. If they just, like, take advantage of scenes like that, like when we got Revney Grelante and Colin Borev in 2022, taking advantage of those scenes that have a ton of background characters. There's so much untapped potential in a lot of scenes that I think it would be great for the diecast line to focus a bit more on. Danny Swervez, I will go grab him. You said blue Danny specifically, so we're going for an accurate Danny. I am colorblind, but it's all good. Blue Danny's on the right, purple Danny's on the left. I'm not gonna lie, I think purple Danny is honestly still not very accurate. I think I want to say his Mini Racer probably has a more accurate color scheme with a bit of a lighter purple. Then again, no, never mind. I think the purple Danny is a bit more accurate. You can definitely tell that there's a difference between these two, though. I looked for purple Danny for a very long time. Eventually got him in... I want to say I got him in the Dan Garcia 10-pack. I have the little poster for it on my wall. The little pamphlet that came with it. And yeah, Danny came in it. The one I'm sad got canceled, which might be weird, is Road Trip Lizzie. Would have had the hat she had in Time Travel, made her an RS500.5. Yeah, that's like... No, that's not weird at all. That's one of my most wanted canceled cars, honestly. The fact that we never got that is so upsetting. Because like you said, it goes deeper. It has something that would be useful outside of the road trip setting. It has that hat, which we saw. I like the fact that Lizzie puts that old hat on when she leaves town. It's very, very 1940s, 1950s of her. I have to go get my hat. I do not know where my plastic tormentor is, but we'll see. Eduardo, you're good. Your messages are coming through. My school has such bad Wi-Fi. I don't know what it is with schools and terrible Wi-Fi, but every school I've ever been to has had terrible Wi-Fi. There's one building in my college where the Wi-Fi is so bad. One of my classes in my first semester was consistently canceled just because of how many tech issues we were having. The Wi-Fi is that bad. Oh, Bethany, I think currently is the best deal ever for Red. Because he's out in that 2-pack with the Stanley statue. That is an insanely solid deal. You never get a deluxe crammed into a 2-pack, you know. Red on his own is $7. The Stanley statue counts as its own car in a 2-pack. So to get those two together, that should cost you $11, but they're selling it for $8 because I had to cram it into a 2-pack. Not getting deluxes, I've said this 100 times now, has forced them to get creative and let us get bigger cars in cheaper ways, and I think that red pack is a great deal. I looked up what other canceled Cars tunes from 2017. Only Mator was a standout. The rest were just basic re-releases. Yeah, that's the problem with the Cars tune line, isn't it? They re-release the same cars too often. That's something we're already seeing in the Cars tunes in the main line. With Komodo, Yokoza, and Manji this year. And while I'm glad to see them back, I really hope we expand, at the very least, expand beyond Tokyo Mater. I'm glad they're in the main line, but I mean, I don't see why... If not putting them in the main line means we could get more releases, then I'd say make them their own sideline, you know? Walmart doesn't have an exclusive Cars line right now. They could have made the Cars Tunes Walmart exclusive again. Advice for people who want to start collecting cars. My advice is to always be aware of what's coming out. The thing that sets the Cars diecast line apart from most other toy lines you'll find is the re-releases. They do so many re-releases, not just of main characters, but of super obscure or previously very rare releases. I've never seen a toy line like it that operates with this re-release mentality, where they just release, practically they re-release the item again after several years. So always be aware of what's soon to release, because if there's an item you're aiming to buy online, well, it may very well have a re-release planned very soon, and you'll be able to get it for a whole lot cheaper. My other piece of advice would be not to overpay for items. They always be on the lookout. Know the market. Understand that some people are gonna ask way too much. When I was just doing eBay research, on my recent video where I go over the history of every McQueen diecast and I averaged out the prices, every time I would find a car where everyone was selling it for $15 and there was one guy selling it for like $40. So know the market and always know that there's going to be somebody selling things for cheaper than you may think. The other day, I was able to pick up a pack for $40 that tends to go for about $60. So if there's an item you want and you think it's too expensive, be on the lookout. You'll eventually find someone who doesn't truly know how much it's worth, and you'll get it for cheaper. Walmart needs to bring back 2-packs and replace with those bad 2-packs with cones. Yeah, I know people who are excited about the accessory 2-packs, but put good releases in them, please. They really have nothing to offer, in my opinion. I did see the new Piston Cup 11-pack and the Salt Fever 5-pack. The Piston Cup 11-pack is probably one of the better ones we've gotten recently. The Salt Fever 5-pack is one of the worst ones we've gotten recently. I don't understand why we don't get exclusive releases in 5-packs anymore. But hey, if getting this Salt Flats Racers 5-pack means that we don't get the Salt Flats cars as singles in 2024, I'm not complaining. Glad there are re-releases. That's how I got Caleb Burley and Jet Robinson, because Jet wasn't around when I came back to Cars. Yeah, I missed Caleb the first time too, but now he's back. Anyway. Let's get back on track. Yeah, Caleb's case missed a lot of stores, mine included. I don't know if it missed a lot. At the very least, it missed mine. Anyway, this is turning into a Q&A stream. That wasn't the plan. I have Plastic Tormentor. I know where he is. He's just covered in dust. And, it's a little gross currently. But, yeah, Salt Fever Pack is the first 5-pack. That doesn't really mean much. Let me go over and clean him up. This is the plastic Disney Store Tormentor. It's very dusty because I've never used him in a video. I may have used him in 1 or 2 Cars Adventures episodes as a substitute for regular Tormentor. So I apologize in advance if he's looking a little dusty. Yeah, this is, for whatever reason, I found this guy in, we don't know if Dats has a white base yet. Well, the rest in that 5-pack are just straight re-releases, including, is it Revo, I think, is in that pack, and it's just a reuse. Unfortunately, they're not going back and updating the older cars to give them black wheels instead of white ones. Yeah, I found this pack for some reason at a Disney store in like 2019, and I bought it immediately. I absolutely flipped out when I saw that, and then I realized that several Disney stores were, for whatever reason, randomly getting this old plastic Monster Truck Mater pack back in stock a decade too late. They're cheap. Their Disney store, Mirastakarian's wig, constantly breaks in half and falls off. But their cheapness has one advantage, which is the sheer amount of posability you get with these guys. The suspension on Frightening McMean, which is the only Monster Truck Mater monster truck I have, him and the Rasta Mater, it's not nearly as good as on these. These are very posable. And there's a lot of fun things you could do with them. More so than the Mattel ones. Since mine isn't really all that used, you could sort of stick the axles in places, and yeah, I just wish that his blue was, you know, more accurate. Yeah, you can see the axles get stuck. The axles get stuck in the base for some reason. They should be able to slide on this track a bit more than they do. Unfortunately, they do not. Welcome, Cars Ignite 95. Alright, who do we have next? When's Batcar coming back? Batcar, unfortunately, had his back broken by Bane and is stuck in a prison and has to climb his way out, so may still be a little bit. Oh no, Cars Ladies Ninjago returneth. Came back and he spelled the word returned wrong. Oh man. How many color changers of yours still work? All of them. The only one I have that... I have two that are a bit damaged. My brand new Mater from 2020 came broken. He does not work well. He has messed up plastic and junk, and he just doesn't work well. My Dinoco McQueen from the Garage playset from 2021 is unfortunately, like, sun damaged. His light blue color is much darker and kind of greenish. But the black color is fine, which is fine because that's what I display him in. Are there any other 155 scale lines beside Mattel's cars? I don't know. I don't follow any other, like, toy cars other than the Cars ones, but 155 scale is not common. Most are 164. Um, if you saw my McQueen history video, you may have noticed that the Dinoco McQueen color changer is pretty... Mine is pretty messed up for some reason.